What's poppin', everybody? Phil here again. I have to at least acknowledge the fact he's not here. Baxter, our boy with cystiatic, I don't know, citric cytosis, fibrosis, he is still gone. Our man Baxter is still gone. And, you know, that's sad to say, but we'll still go on, still push forward, and he's here in our hearts, at least for me. But today, I know that I was gonna do, well, I don't really know. I didn't really say I was gonna do anything next time I came on, but I'm on again. And I was going to talk about some sports, see what I could do. You know, there really hasn't been a whole lot that's been going on, especially on like Sports Center. You know, you only see like, you know, old highlights of what everybody does. But they're, you know, kind of like trading season right now. Trading season, off season. Well, definitely off season for the football. And there's been some insane moves. First of all, there was a huge upset with Cam Newton. You know, he's not too happy with how the Carolina Panthers have treated him and how they've handled the whole situation. So, you know, I'm very excited to see where he goes. And, you know, hopefully he comes back with some aggression. You know, a little more amplified attitude and just, you know, does the part where he actually plays football and does well. That's always like, you know, kind of need to do that if you're going to play some football. And, you know, that's your job. So, and what he posted a video of him in the gym. He's all pumped up to be there. And he's just ready and roaring. And, dude, he looked huge. You can't really look at any of these other quarterbacks and look at him and be like, wow, that's a big dude, you know? Cam Newton looks ripped. And that should be terrifying. I mean, that's a prime athlete right there, you know? Well built, super tall, I mean, and fast. He's got a great arm. You know, after that Super Bowl push, you know, after that season went out, he wasn't doing too well, but there was a whole lot of up in the air stuff talking about, well, not really up in the air, it was pretty obvious, but he was going on a plant-based diet and he was getting hurt a lot. He wasn't really staying strong. His bones weren't really doing too well for him, so he kind of got the boot, which kind of, you know, it's a bummer, but hopefully he figured out what he needed to do and, you know, comes back with some power and comes back with some, you know, like I said, aggression. Like, I would be ticked off. So today I got a new camera and I'm sure you can tell the quality is way better. And I figured I'd give it a little shot, try doing 2 cameras at one time, you know, have you as the big camera, getting a nice view and not having to be right up in my face, but like when things get serious, you know, I give it a look, just be like, yo, and then look at the camera that's, you know, closer. But I don't know, I cannot rely on this GoPro. It's pretty garbage. Anyways, after I was so rudely interrupted, and yeah, so if he comes back and he plays how he should, like how he usually does, like that guy's going to be a threat. And hopefully, you know, yeah, after this whole plant-based diet thing, maybe he figures out how to get, I mean, I'm not hating on the plant-based diet. You know, you do you, bro. But if you're going to do it, you got to do it right. You got to make sure you're taking all the supplements and everything you got to do in order to make sure that you're not missing out on something important like, calcium or good proteins for your bones and for your body. That way you don't get injured so often. I'm not going to go into plant-based stuff or food, diets, things. I am nowhere in that range. I know the runaround. I know how to beat around a bush, but I don't know how to get in the bush and find what I'm trying to talk about. So we're going to dodge it. And then, so Browns, I want this to be very unbiased, but it's hard. You know what I'm saying? And it's not even biasism. It's not biased at all. I don't think. It's what's been happening. And Browns have been making some moves, man. Okay, before I was so rudely interrupted, again, I'm still working on this new camera. It overheated, so I'm just changing the settings back and seeing how long it'll last this time. Hopefully it'll be all right. But back to what I was talking about with, the Browns. They have been making some mad plays. And they just got, his name just past my head. That veteran, he's a veteran quarterback from the Broncos, bringing him up onto the team. I think that's huge. I think that's big time. I love Baker. I think that dude is the realest guy, As a quarterback, he hasn't really proven himself, He did prove himself in his rookie year when he, kicked major butt right during playoff season, not playoff season, but towards the end of the season. But last season was a rough one. But I think there was a lot going on, not just with him, but even with OBJ and the coaching staff, it was nuts. So the way I see it is that the last year was just a complete and utter change of events that was way too much. And we had some great players, but I don't think it was taken on how it should have. Now, good players should be able to perform as, good as they are. But if you don't have a good, atmosphere, things are pretty bumpy. And, same thing with OBJ, awesome player, awesome dude. But, of course he's going to want his time, and he's going to want some catches, and he's going to want some touchdowns. He wants to look good as well. And but he's as he's also a veteran quarterback, or not quarterback, wide receiver. He should understand, the process. And I'm sure he was there at most of the practices, and I'm sure he saw what was going on. You should be able to see and be like, you know what, I'll cut him some slack. And then, especially with the new year coming around, I would be pumped because, new coaching staff, and there's some movement going on. You got a veteran quarterback playing backup behind Baker. Not only is that applying a lot of pressure, a lot of good pressure on Baker. Sorry, I don't want that mic to be louder or whatever for you. But that applying a lot of pressure on Baker, making sure he plays at his best. And, it gives a lot of, Baker goes on the field, he makes some good plays, and he does a good job. And as long as he listens, he can come back to the sidelines and have a talk with them, get a little overview of what just happened, and then get a a veteran look at what just happened and play it better next time. And and making Baker better makes OBJ better, makes Jarvis Landry better. Those guys are going to look phenomenal with a quarterback that is comfortable where he's at and has a drive, not only, for him to look good, he wants to look good, I'm sure, as well. He doesn't want to be the fool that everybody's been making him in that last season. But for him to play good, though, he's putting balls where they need to be, and he's making adjustments and making plays that need to happen that then give like the wide receivers and the tight ends and Nick Chubb. I mean, I don't even need to mention Nick Chubb. That guy's he's just a beast, man. He stays quiet, he does his job, and he does it well. That guy is great. But besides him, the whole other part needs to come around and get together. And we've been making some mad defensive plays as well. I'm trying to think of the names, but, this whole... I'm pulling it all right off the head. I need to start writing some stuff down. But long days, man. But, yeah. So, like, the Browns have been making some good moves and making great moves, especially with the coaching staff change. That's going to be a huge change. Just like everybody else says, maybe next season, or just, gosh, I hope we don't have to say that again. And Tom Brady. What a move, man. What a move. Him going there is great. And, I mean, that's huge. And as much as I want him to do well there, I hope the Browns do better. But, man, if Tom Brady can capture that ring in Tampa Bay, it is without a doubt that man is the best quarterback, best football player on the planet ever. I mean, you don't just go to the last team in the league of last season and go to that team and be like, I'm making a change here. I don't even think I turned it on. Golly, that thing's wild, man. I'm putting you down. You're freaking me out. You still recording? But I've also been hearing that Antonio Brown might be coming to play. Don't quote me. But if Antonio Brown gets onto that team and he stays mentally stable throughout that whole season, while playing with Tom Brady as the quarterback, that could be the best duo to make it to the Super Bowl that came out of absolute nowhere. That would be insane. And Antonio Brown's a complete messed up scumbag, but if he can pull his stuff together and get himself on the football field again and go play with Tom Brady for Tampa Bay, as a defense, I'd be terrified. You got a genius quarterback behind center, and you have an outstanding wide receiver who can make plays, and he's still been kind of working out, I've noticed. He's still attempting to play football for a little bit, even with all these issues going on. But that would be nuts. And that is all for football that I know of, that I could think of. But baseball, though, opening day is today. It was today. It would have been at 1 p.m. this morning, or this afternoon. How nuts is that? That is just blowing my mind that we're not even at... they're even having talks about not even having a season at all. And, you know, what? I think this year was going to be I think Under Armour got a contract with the MLB, so they're going to have Under Armour uniforms instead of Majestic. So everybody was going to be whipping out some pretty sick uniforms this year that I'm pretty sure. No, I'm pretty set. I remember them signing the contract. That was a while ago, but I know that they're going to have. Alrighty, and we're back. Yeah, so we're just talking about the MLB season and how the uniforms are going to be Under Armour. But yeah, I mean, other than that, that's really the only thing that's been crazy. Mike Trout just took a selfie with somebody in the grocery store, and it was funny because they did a little bit of a social distancing thing. Yeah, they took a picture while they were, like, you know, practicing social distancing while Mike Trout stood a little bit far away, and then the girl took the photo. I thought that was hilarious. And then he commented on the photo and said, you know, I really apologize. This was going to be, you know, I try my butt off to make sure that this goes nice and smooth every time. And then I hope that because I usually change some stuff after this is over, and then to get the camera settings all situated. But I feel like I've had something new every time, and it's always been like, there's always been a distracting point. And I don't want that to happen. I'd like you guys to, you know, I'm sure my voice is already annoying enough. Now you have to listen to a 30-minute podcast in 3 parts. But yeah, I mean, sports-wise though, it's like, you know, all you see on SportsCenter is the 5 years ago, you know, 3 years ago, the best dunks of this person specifically. A lot of LeBron stuff. It seems like there's a lot of things about, you know, LeBron, best dunks, best duo, best games at the Heat, best games at the Cavs. Go on forever with LeBron all day. But it was funny. I seen a video because the guy who runs SportsCenter's Instagram, his name's Omar, and Omar had some videos he posted of like him and his content team just like, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? We'll find this, find that. Like it's hilarious. Because I can just imagine like how hard it would be to find content, something good and something that you want people to see. Like, but they've been posting a lot of people fails trying to do at-home workouts and like people going crazy with these like what they call Rube Goldberg projects where they hit a ball goes down this and then over there and it bounces and hits a bunch of books, and I think those are pretty cool. I mean that takes some time. That takes some major time. But you know, big props to them. That's some. They always look cool. I would like to do one myself, but you know, I think I have like 4 hours when I get home before I go to bed. You know, I had a friend say that I should try doing some podcasts with. My goodness, I should do some podcasts with talking about streamers, because I mean those guys are the ones that are, you know, winning at this point. You know, they've had an at-home job where they don't have to be around anybody, and they play video games, and then they talk to people on the video games that are playing video games from another house. Like, those guys have been, you know, doing it before it was cool. Now it's something everybody has to do, and nobody even recognizes the fact that they're still doing them. But I'm not very, what do you want to say, knowledgeable about it. I know Ninja. I know that guy. He's got blue hair sometimes, other hair another time. And I don't really know a whole lot about video games. I mean, I've been playing Call of Duty a lot. I've been playing that, Modern Warfare. That game's pretty fun. I was playing Gunfight where it's 2v2, and I ended up playing with this random guy, and all of a sudden he added me on PlayStation, and then we just continued to play throughout the rest of the night. I thought it was hilarious. The guy, he's one of those guys that likes to just talk and talk and talk. I don't even know why. I never said anything to begin with, but I just, I heard him talking, turned on my mic, I said something, and he just started going off. It was hilarious. But let's see. So that's really all I got for sports stuff. But before I go though, I need to write this stuff down. But I could feel my ear was clogging up, right, with earwax. It was really gross. But you're always told, don't use Q-tips. Don't use Q-tips. So, you shouldn't use Q-tips for your ears. Well, I mean, okay, then, what are you supposed to use? Now, I was using the earwax candles for a little bit, and those do the job. Like, you'd be surprised, but, your ear feels a lot cleaner after it's done, and you would be impressed with the amount of earwax that's in your ears after one of these wax candles. Sheesh. But I've used those, and then, but they're a little time consuming, kind of dangerous. Depends on where you're at. But I ended up getting these other things, and they're not Q-tips, but they're like little plastic scoopers. And it's got like a little like ice cream scoop, and then it's got like a little porcupine at the other end. And so the little porcupine end is supposed to be like an exfoliating thing. So you kind of put it in your ear, you just kind of scratch all around and whatnot. And then the scooper is exactly what you think it's supposed to do. It's supposed to pluck your hair. No, it's supposed to get in there and scoop out the wax. Holy cow. It's actually disgusting. I don't know. I've also been using, I have AirPros, or AirPod, AirPod Pros. And I am convinced that, having sound go in your ear consistently, just either builds it up or just throws the wax all around, because I don't understand how the earwax can just get in the thing to begin with, and then I don't know how it just build, I don't know. Earwax is the most random thing. I don't understand it, but it is wild. But I used those today, and my ears feel great right now. So next time you're in Walmart and you're looking to get some ear stuff, just it's usually right by the pharmaceuticals. Hold on a second. Oh, gosh. Whoa. That took me into a new world. That was wild. I do not have the coronavirus. Promise. Don't test me, though. But yeah, it's right there usually by pharmaceuticals. It's like eye care, ear care, right in that area. The only thing is they're kind of a ripoff. I think you get 10 little scoopers. I think it's like $3 or $4. And it says this is what you should use for your ears. Well, if it is, then why don't you put more in there? I can go buy Q-tips for what, $2-3 and 1,000 of them. Nuts, bonkers. But But yeah, go check it out. Again, Stanford design. Check this out. Oh, of course. Oh yeah, baby. Get in on that. Get in. Where's it at? Oh, it's still going. Look at that. Can I go further? That's it, boys. Stanford 3D printing. Or 3D design, my bad. This is the guy you call up, you message if you need anything built. He just put out some designs for, come on now. He just put some things on his Instagram for some PS4 controllers and Xbox controllers. They're little wall mounts, so you can put it on the wall. Pretty nifty. He does his designs himself. He's also working on doing a house. Your address number for your house. He does little designs for those, and I do Amazon Flex. And when I go deliver packages and stuff, there's some people that don't have those on there, and that is a complete need. And and they look nice too. He's got a good design, and he makes it look real nice. If you need little coasters, and he's working on some other designs of. I'm not sure what they were, but I'll have to look again. But if you have any ideas of something you want to build, he may be up for trying it out himself. He's very interested in going in that direction with the 3D printing stuff. So, what else? Oh yeah, let me know if you like these. If you enjoyed this podcast specifically. I got a little mic on me now. We'll have to see how that sounds. The lighting is pretty solid from what I can see. And this camera is interesting. I'm working on trying to get the hang of it. Sadly, it cannot be in 4K. I'm figuring that out now, but we'll be working on some new things. I should have made this a little cleaner. Not that it matters. I don't even know if you can see it. Yeah, you can see it. I wasn't really too prepared. I should turn on my little incense diffuser, but. That's all I got for you guys today. Thanks for coming in and listening, and keep up with our Instagram channel, Baxter and Phil. Subscribe to our YouTube, and check us out on Anchor as well. That's who we do with podcasts right now. I'm figuring out how to get it on the Apple's podcast soon, and then it is on Spotify. If you look it up, Baxter and Phil on Spotify. But yeah, check us out. Peace.